Nama. Phone no check up na. Huh? This. Ah, Abbas, that is good. That is good. Are we ready? Hare Krishna. Okay, we start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, we will continue reading the introduction by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So before we start, let us offer our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnana Jana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalparadupyascha Kripa Sindhabhyevacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, this is on, my book is on page number 23. The paragraph, it begins with, as explained before. Has everyone got it? No. Yeah. As explained before, there are different kinds of transcendentalists. The Brahmavadi, Paramatmavadi, and the devotee. And as mentioned in the Brahmjyoti, spiritual sky, there are innumerable spiritual planets. The number of these planets is far, far greater than all of the planets of this material world. This material world has been approximated as only 1/4 of the creation. Ekam sena sthito jagat. In this material segment, there are millions and billions of universes with trillions of planets and suns, stars, and moons. But this whole material creation is only a fragment of the total creation. Most of the creation is in the spiritual sky. One who desires to merge into the existence of the Supreme Brahman is at once transferred to the Brahmjyoti of the Supreme Lord and thus attains the spiritual sky. The devotee who wants to enjoy the association of the Lord enters into the Vaikuntha planets, which are innumerable, and the Supreme Lord, by his plenary expansions as Narayan with 4 hands and with different names like Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Govinda, associates with him there. Therefore, at the end of life, the transcendentalists think either of the Brahmjyoti, the Paramatma, or the Supreme Personality of God as Sri Krishna. In all cases, they enter into the spiritual sky, but only the devotee, or he who is in personal touch with the Supreme Lord, enters into the Vaikuntha planets or the Golok Vrindavan planet. The Lord further adds that of this there is no doubt. This must be believed firmly. We should not reject that which does not tally with our imagination. Our attitude should be that of Arjuna. I believe everything that you have said. Therefore, when the Lord says that at the time of death, whoever thinks of him as Brahman or Paramatma or as the personal Godhead certainly enters into the spiritual sky. There is no doubt about it. There is no question of disbelieving it. The Bhagavad Gita 8.6 also explains the general principle that makes it possible to enter the spiritual kingdom simply by thinking of the Supreme at the time of death. Yam yam vapi smaranam bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram tam tam evati konteya sadata bhava bhavita. Okay, this slok is all to do with what happens to the destination, what happens to the destination of various transcendentalists. They have been basically, let me read through, then I'll just explain. Like Prabhupada mentions, man must be intelligent to realize the importance of human life. Right? He writes in previous paragraphs. It is obtained after passing through a cycle of 8.4 million species. Our ability to think about religion comes only in the human form of life. We go through 8.4 million species, out of which 8 million species are all plants, animals, reptiles, insects, all those. It's only 400,000 are considered human species. Yeah, we are existing on this form in this world. There will be other humans which are also existing in other planets. They may look different, but everything is to do with the level of consciousness. As a person progresses, he rises above in consciousness, and when he reaches a certain level, he is then considered to be fit to be called a man. And he has the consciousness or the ability to think about religion, if he so wishes. Most of the people don't want to even consider or think about these things. So it's a very, very rare opportunity. And those who are there have got that ability to think about what our purpose in life is. Why are we put in this world? Why are we put in this world? What do we what are we supposed to be doing? So we must question the purpose of living and utilize this very, very rare opportunity to reach the Sanatan sky. We have been mentioning in the previous paragraphs that our aim should be to reach the Sanatan sky. Sanatan sky is eternal. Now, some of the definitions which have been given, what exactly or how it is. The Sanatan sky is eternal spiritual sky. It is the abode of the Lord. That is where the Lord stays, whose nature is Sat Chit Anand. Okay. Sat, we are also eternal. Bhagwan is eternal as well. But the only difference is we are encased in a material body. We don't have that freedom. Right? Chit, the Lord is full of knowledge. A living entity forgets everything due to change your body. What tends to happen is a person qualifies to become a doctor, engineer, whatever, and he is full of knowledge. He has gained all the worldly experience and all that. But when he dies, all that goes zero. Then he takes on another body. When he takes on another body, he has to start all over again. So there is no full knowledge, full consciousness, full ability like what Bhagwan is. Bhagwan does not change his body. So he remembers everything. In fact, he talks to Arjuna and says, "You don't know anything about your previous lives, but I remember each and every one of my lives." Right? His knowledge is unlimited. And lastly, Anand. It is full of pleasure. While for us, it has been mentioned the definition of this world is that it is temporary and full of miseries. So, the second objective of reaching the sky is, first of all, it is eternal sky where we'll get permanency. Then there's Sachit Anand there. The spiritual world is 3 times bigger than the material creation. So, as from there, our material done is only 25% of the total creation. We are only based in 25%. When we say we, it extends for, like it says, trillions and billions of universes. But that is still just a fraction, 1/4 of the total creation. That is where we are. So from that you can make an estimate that it would be so much better to be in the spiritual world, where there will be much more activities going to happen than what you are here suffering here. Then the supreme abode of mind. This is in Bhagavad Gita 15.6. The Lord says, "This supreme abode of mind is not illuminated by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity." So there is nothing artificial or anything coming. It is coming from the effulgence of the Lord. That is how it is lit up, the whole spiritual sky. And the most important thing is, how do we reach that thing? So he says, like in 2 days back, we had a purport of the banyan tree. It is to cut with the sword of detachment. As such, we can only be achieved by surrender and by no other means. Surrender unto the Lord. That is the only way you can have a chance to reach Bhagwan. So again, this paragraph starts with, as explained before, there are three kinds of transcendentalists. So the three ways of realizing the Lord is Vadi, is realization through the material universe. That is how far someone's capacity is to understand the Lord. When he sees material, he sees the lakes, he sees the mountains, he sees everything. That is his ability to perceive. So this must be God. This is God. That is one understanding of a person. One of the transcendentalists is the Brahmavadi. A little higher up is recognizing that there is a Paramatma within you. When there is a Paramatma inside you and you start investigating or trying to find out what it is, how it is, what is the purpose of it, is it a sanctioner, is it a record keeping, what it is. So Paramatma is realization through the Paramatma within the individual bodies. And the topmost is Bhagwanvadi. It's not mentioned here. It's like Bhagwan. To recognize Bhagwan as a supreme personality of Godhead. That is the highest form of recognition. Devotional service to the Lord Himself and how to perform devotional services. So, as stated in 4:11, Bhagavad Gita 4:11, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path, respects, O son of Pritha. So the Lord is saying that I reciprocate as they think about me. You can think, like we said, in three different ways: in the Brahm Jyoti way, in the Paramatma way, or in the Bhagwan itself. So, in this slok in 4:11, Bhagwan says, I reciprocate. As all surrender unto, I reward them accordingly. So, reciprocating. That it is in the same manner. Brahmavadi, they reach the Brahm Jyoti. So what actually happens, let me give you a picture of the setup which is there. Right in the middle, there is the Golok Vrindavan. That is the planet of the Lord. Right in the middle. Then surrounding it, there are so many other planets. They are all called Vaikunthas. Now, Vaikunthas are where all the expansions of the Lord stay. We have heard about Ram Bhagwan, we have heard of Nrsimhadev, we have heard of Ganesh. You take who are all the big personalities of this. They have their own planets in the Vaikuntha. So central is Golok Vrindavan. Then there is surrounded by Vaikunthas. And then further up is all the effulgence which comes through. And that is called the Brahm Jyoti. So, a person who thinks in the Brahm Jyoti, Brahma Vedi type of thinking will end up in Brahm Jyoti. Those who think in the Paramatma level, think about individuals, different demigods and things like that, will end up in the Vaikuntha palace. And those who are pure devotees, they will end up in the spiritual realm of Golok Vrindavan. So this is what the cycle is. So this is basically what the slokas are saying. Then I just added a little bit more. Why we need to go to the Dham. I had mentioned all the points as well. But death is the biggest truth of life. And it says in Bhagavad Gita 2.27, one who has taken his birth is sure to die. And after death, one is sure to be born again, to take birth again. So there is no escaping the cycle. If you're born now, death is guaranteed. After death, your birth is guaranteed. So that cycle will keep on going. But the Lord says there is a chance of breaking that cycle. Otherwise, every time you get born, you have the body, old age, disease, and death. You go through that cycle over and over again. And it is not a very pleasant cycle. It is very troublesome, full of miseries. So, if you get a chance to break the cycle, then you should grab onto it. And that is what the Lord is saying. Other way of understanding that you keep on having a rotation of lives is again in 2.12. He says, never was a time when I did not exist. That is the Lord saying. There was never a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So those who had been killed by the Lord in the Mahabharata, they say they are not been as such. They'll come back. They are already come back. What you see in front of you is just what you're seeing now. But in time to come, they won't be there. They'll take birth again. So it is saying that the whole Gita is based on that principle, based on karma, and is based on reincarnation. So reincarnation always takes place, but you can break the cycle. So now we are saying, we are eternal living souls, and we will keep on reincarnating unless we go to the spiritual sky. So, Lord Krishna gives us various guarantees. Throughout the Gita, there are so many places where the Lord has mentioned, and He's given guarantee and assurances how to reach Him. So in 8.5, this is a slok which has been mentioned. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone at once, attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. So at the end of his life, if he can think of me, he will be transferred to my dham, to my abode. So how can you guarantee that you'll think of the Lord at the end? You may be in so much physical disabilities. You might be sick. You might not be able to think correctly. So how do you guarantee that at the last point when your life is going to get out of your body, you'll be able to think of Krishna? So that requires practice. It doesn't come today, tomorrow. It requires lots of practice for a person to reach that level, that even with any kind of difficulty, at the time of quitting his body, he'll be able to remember God. So 8.5 is that. Then 8.6 talks about the law of last thought. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Again, it's a little variation on 8.5. Whatever he remembers at the end will be the body he will take further on. If he starts thinking of a dog at that time, he'll take a dog's body because that is your desire. You'll think of a particular situation, you'll be forming part of that in your next life. So you don't want to have any other thoughts apart from the Lord. Right? There was this story of Bharat Maharaj, who was such a great devotee of the Lord. Then there was a story of him, a little, what was it, a sheep or something? Deer. A deer came and he started looking after the deer. And his mind became engrossed in the, and though he was he was constantly thinking of the deer and not of the Lord. So the next life, he had to take of birth as a deer. So what happens? That it is the law of last thought. So in order to make sure that you keep on having pure thoughts of the Lord, more chanting, more reading, more kirtan, everything more. And that is the only thing in life we should do that. Again, the lots of guarantees and assurances have been given. Then in 8.7, therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time, carry out your prescribed duty of fighting with your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me. You will attain me without doubt. Again, God is giving guarantee without doubt. All you have to do is devote your activities towards me. It doesn't mean you stop working. You do your works, but don't tell those activities towards me. Then you will do it. Then these instructions are again mentioned in 8.8, repeated in 9.34. 9.34 says, engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Again, another guarantee. All you have to do is keep on thinking about me and you will come to me. 18.65. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus, you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Then in 12, chapter 12, 6 and 7, it says, but those who worship me, giving up all activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engage in devotion service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Again, he's saying, just surrender unto me. Give your mind to me, because that is the only thing you can give. And then in 12.8, just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always, without a doubt. So all these guarantees have been given, assurances have been given, that the only thing which I require you to do is to think of me. Think of me always, and you will come to me. So again, recapping, Vadi is like a third class. Second class is Paramata Vadi. And then at the end, topmost is thinking about Bhagwan and all things. So this is what the two paragraphs of this introduction are. Yeah? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Granth Raj Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Is there any questions? I'll be to answer. Hare Krishna.